11:47 a.m.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
Jules, this is Ryan. Listen, on an airplane that's been hijacked. If things don't go well, and it's not looking good, I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So happy to time. Same to my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you, and I'll see you later. Bye, babe.
What are those people gonna do? All the elevators are blocked out.
In a country that most people would struggle to find on a map, in a compound that few possess the courage to enter, men from my previous life took the fight to our enemy. In that compound, they found men that pray 5 times a day for your destruction. Those men don't care about your religious beliefs. They don't care about your political opinions. They don't care if you sit on the left or the right, liberal or conservative, pacifist or warrior. They don't care how much you believe in diversity, equality, or freedom of speech. They don't care. I'm sorry you've never smelled the breath of a man who wants to kill you. I'm sorry you've never felt the alarm bells ringing in your body, the combination of fear and adrenaline as you move towards the fight instead of running from it. I'm sorry you've never heard someone cry out for help or cried out for help yourself, relying on the courage of others to bring you home. I'm sorry you've never tasted the salt from your own tears as you stand at flag-draped coffins burying men you were humbled to call your friends. I don't wish those experiences on you, but I do wish you had them. Most will never understand the sacrifice required to keep evil men like those from that distant compound away from our doorstep. But it would not hurt you to try and understand. It would not hurt you to take a moment to respect the sacrifices that others make on your behalf, whether they share your opinions or not. It would not hurt you to take a moment to think of the relentless drain on family, friends, and loved ones that are left behind, sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months, sometimes for years, sometimes forever. Ideas are not protected by words. Paper and ink may outline the foundation and principles of this nation, but it is blood, only blood, that protects it. In that dusty compound, a man you have never met gave everything he had so that you have the freedom to think, speak, and act however you choose. He went there for all of us, whether you loved or hated what he stood for. He went there to preserve the opportunity and privilege to believe, to be, and to become what we want. You have the choice every day as to which category you want to be in which direction you want to move. You have that choice because the best among us, the best we ever had to offer, fought and bled and died for it. Don't ever forget that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to SITREP. How you doing, homie? You're muted. Amateur hour. He still doesn't realize it. I should just let him go.
I don't know why.
I was just going to let you go, man.
I gave away life secrets right there. I was eating a delicious steak right now, man. I had a good gym day. And I was eating a delicious ribeye steak. Like it was, yeah. You know, I'll tell you what, man. Chef IQ, you know, it's been a long time since we brought him up. Freaking game changer, bro.
Told you.
Freaking game. Especially when you get like the thicker meats and you got to do the indirect heat. Like these things are so sophisticated, folks. I know they're not even a sponsor tonight. I'm just so damn happy with these things, man. That you know, tell you, you know, put it on, flip it, you know, get your seared sides, put in the indirect heat, and it just you get a perfect steak every time. And I'm in I'm in heaven right now, man. My mouth's like, that was good.
Did you put it on the smoker or did you grill it?
I grilled it. I put it on the grill.
Telling you, bro, you got to smoke it.
Yeah.
Have you smoked one yet?
I have. Not with the Chef IQ, but I do. I have smoked a steak before. It's just Thursdays are like a second Monday in the week for me. Like they're super, super busy. So just the time to get out there and smoke it would just make the day more complicated. Not impossible, just make the day more complicated. You know, we need production teams, bro. That want to work for free. just to put it out there. Production teams that want to work for free, we could definitely use your help.
Well, my wife got called to a special event that they had to do for the dance team, and so I had to fend for myself, and I got really lazy, and so like half an hour before the show, I threw a pizza in the oven, and I got 2 slices down during the intro, like just like raw, hot as shit.
Don't feel bad because I lost track of time. So when I was back in the studio, the reason I had my avatar up, I was doing the same thing. I was like, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I have it, you know, it's covered because I'm gonna finish that bad boy after the show.
All right, let's get into our sponsors, then we'll get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about our Unicity sponsor here.
But this is all I've been drinking since last Friday. Don't drink coffee anymore. And I feel more focused. Since I've been taking it, it's been amazing. And so I would encourage you guys to try it out. This might be my new favorite thing.
This might be your favorite thing too. I want to talk about today's sponsor, something that's totally changing lives. If you're dealing with low energy, stubborn belly fat, high blood pressure, cholesterol, you are not alone. Did you know that 9 out of 10 adults have these metabolic issues that can lead to fatigue, brain fog, and even gut issues that mess with your mood and your weight? That is where Feel Great comes in, a simple 2-step daily practice that's changing lives. More energy, no cravings, clearer thinking, and no more stubborn belly fat. Imagine waking up ready to crush the day and shed a few stubborn pounds without crazy dieting. If you want to feel great and support the show, head on over to badlandshealth.com and lock in $70 off today and all future orders, plus a 90-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's badlandshealth.com. Trust me, your future self will thank you.
It's funny you bring that up because right here.
Oh, you're taking it?
Oh, hell yeah. I love this stuff, bro. This one you take with your biggest meal. So normally my biggest meal is lunch. So that I take this when I do my lunch. But like I said, today got real, you know, it got past me. So as soon as I'm done with my steak, I'll be doing this thing. The stuff tastes good, dude. And aside from that, I still drink my coffee because I do the mushroom stuff and all that. So I'm not like John. I haven't replaced my coffee, but I do in the morning. I do 2 hard-boiled eggs, and I do the yellow packet. And then at lunch, normally I do this one, but I'll be doing this one for dinner tonight.
Excellent.
It's good for you folks, especially when the box comes in. There's a little QR code that you scan, takes you right to the app, gives you more information on how it works, and you get to log these things in. It'll even track your fasting. Like if you want to know, like it'll tell you log in your last dinner, you plug that thing in, and then poof, the timer starts. And then in the morning, you know if you got a 10-hour, 12-hour, 16-hour fast, like the stuff's good. Hey, listen,
We now
bro.
know his dieting routine and what he had for dinner. So next up,
Hey,
get some cooking tips from him.
hey,
Oh,
listen,
we
you
got
know,
the Chef IQ.
tallow, real butter. You know, I'm probably like you. I don't know what kind of seasonings you do, but I just do the salt, garlic, and pepper. That's all. Like that's all. Literally the only seasoning I put on my steak. And after I do the flip, and I know I'm not flipping it no more, that's when I throw on my salted butter.
I'm a little more intricate than that, especially on the smoker. On a grill, yeah, salt, pepper.
Yeah, on the smoker, that's different. That's a different case study right there. But just for the grill, you know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Listen, that steak that's under, it's a thick one, so it's a little bit longer time. But you're still talking about your steak in 25 minutes.
Oh,
And that's including your rest time.
on the smoker?
No, on the grill.
Oh, on the grill, yeah. On
On
the
the
smoker,
grill.
you're looking at like a half hour, 35 minutes,
Yeah,
depending on how thick it is.
Depending on how thick it is, it probably 30 minutes because there's sometimes where your rest time will be 10 minutes. But the other one that made me laugh, what's the show about? Somebody said probably Thomas Massie. You guys are savages. But you know what?
Alpha the derp.
In case the person that asked earlier over there on YouTube really is curious what's this show about, veteran, and we talk primarily about veteran stuff, or it's just different things through the mindset of veterans. And we bring people on, we'll honor the memory of some veterans, but it's mostly a veteran show.
Yeah. So let's hit our next sponsor right quick, and then that will be it until the middle of the show. Welcome to Benson Honey Farms, where every jar is pure gold. Benson Honey is excited to be back on Badlands Media with their latest 2025 honey harvest, straight from their farm in Nebraska. While they've been busy working to improve our state politics from the ground up, they never forgot the importance of sharing the best honey around. Did you know honey isn't just a sweet treat? It's nature's medicine, perfect for alleviating allergies, soothing upset stomachs, or delicious natural sweetener for baking. Benson honey is never heated, ensuring that you receive it in its purest form, full of natural goodness. At Benson Honey Farms, quality and purity is top priority, and they're committed to providing the finest honey from hive to home. Join the supportive community. Enjoy a special offer. Visit badlandsmedia.tv/honey and use promo code Badlands for 15% off your purchase. Again, that's Benson Honey Farms. Savor the authentic taste of Nebraska and support this America First business. Follow them on Facebook at Benson Honey Farms. And they are just incredible people. Highly, highly recommend badlandsmedia.tv/honey. Promo code Badlands for 15% off. Get the barbecue sauce.
That's what I was going to say. Get that honey barbecue sauce. Get that. You remember the first time we tried it?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, it was
so good. It's got a little kick to it. But fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah. It's fantastic.
All right.
But I did want to show a video that it's not veteran related, but I was like, at first when I saw it, I was like, yeah, hell yeah, this is awesome. So I bookmarked it. And then I watched it again. I was like, what's bothering me about this? Like, it's a good video.
Oh boy.
And then I was like, oh, I think I know. So I wanted to play it and get your take on it.
Oh boy.
But like I said, it's a good video. Like, I don't want to take away from it. It is an amazing video, of what it. I mean, the circumstances are bad, and I pray for the person involved. But I mean, here, let me do less talking,
pull it up.
and more sharing. Bring it up, and I'll hit play. What the heck? Hold on, disappeared on me.
It's right there. I can hit play. Oh wait, no, I can't.
No, you can't. Hold on, I got to do. It went off the screen. You can drop it while I figure out.
Way to go. Well, while we're waiting for Alpha to get that up, I had told Alpha last week we read the we read the warrant for Staff Sergeant Olis, who President Trump gave the Medal of Honor posthumously. Is that how you say that? Posthumously.
Somebody told us in the chat last time, but
posthumously. But he gave him the Medal of Honor, and I actually went and dug up, boom, my old Navy Achievement Medal with Combat Valor, and I was going to read the warrant today. Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal with Combat Distinguishing Device to Corporal Brian Lupo. Heroic achievement in the superior performance of his duties while serving as a rifle team leader, 81 millimeter mortar platoon, weapons company, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines Regimental Command Team 6, Combat Team 6, 1st Marine Division from 23rd April 2012 to 30th April 2012 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. While conducting a dismounted security patrol, Corporal Lupo and his team were engaged with a barrage of accurate small arms and machine gun fire from enemy fighters entrenched in a wadi about 400 meters to their north. Along with his team, there were 4 local Afghans caught in the kill zone. He immediately maneuvered his team to a berm, secured the local Afghans, and moved them to safety. Once his team gained fire superiority, Corporal Lupo reported the enemy position to the patrol base and directed his team's fires against the enemy position. Corporal Lupo's quick decision making and fire superiority effectively suppressed the enemy, which allowed for supporting fires to destroy the enemy position. Corporal Lupo's exceptional professionalism, unrelenting perseverance, and loyal devotion to duty reflected credit upon him, and wherein keeping up with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. Given this day, 30th of April, 2012, Major General David H. Berger, Commanding General, 1st Marine Division.
Hell yeah, son.
Boom!
Hell yeah.
So now, can I tell you the story about what really happened on that day?
Of course. Oh,
So we went on an op, all right? And it was a 4-day op. And we had to walk probably about 1.5 miles to the river, right? And there's this river, it's probably, I don't know, 300 meters wide. And it flows so fast that there's these boats that they have in Afghanistan. They're like iron boats. And they have like they're huge boats. I mean, they're probably like 30 feet long, and they just have like benches across them. Think of like an airboat, but like without all the top stuff, right? Just the hull. And they have to go at like a 45-degree angle just to go straight across the river because of the current and everything. And so we get down there, we got all our supplies for the day. We had a couple combat engineers that were with us, and they were literally fucking useless. Like they wouldn't even carry their own gear. Like we had Bangalores and det cord and all this stuff to, in case we found IEDs or whatever, they wouldn't carry it. So my guys had to carry all of their gear. And this is the op. I've mentioned this before, that when I stepped for the op, I weighed 360 pounds, something like that. I was about 170 pounds soaking wet. So I had almost 200 pounds of gear on me. And we had to go. So we go out, we cross that wadi, or that, not that wadi, that river. We link up with our patrol base out there. We spend the night at the patrol base, and we step at like 0300. So 3 a.m. we're out there walking along the side of a frickin' mountain. So steep that like I'm taking my rifle and using the barrel of my rifle to make sure I don't fall. Because it was that bad.
Sounds like you're at Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, right. But we weren't allowed to have any light, so all we were using were our NVGs. And for anybody that's ever worn NVGs, you have zero depth perception. It's the craziest thing. Like something could be like 5 feet in front of you, and you could be like, is that 5 feet in front of me or a mile away? You have no idea. And so we're walking with this, and I'm using my rifle like literally as a walking stick because I'm so heavy, and we're on the side of a hill. So we get out there, we set up an LPOP, a little observation post, and the other team leader, who's one of my really good friends, gets dysentery. And if you know anything about dysentery, it's the most miserable thing you could ever have. And he's just like every 5 minutes he has to go off and relieve himself.
We called it Saddam's Revenge.
Saddam's Revenge. Yeah. Like Montezuma's Revenge, same thing in Mexico. Yeah. So I ended up taking my fire team and his fire team, and we went and did this, quick little patrol to see what was going on. And we walked down this hill. It's a wide open desert field. There's nothing except a little wadi over on the right. And we come down this big hill, and we're walking across maybe 200 or 300 meters, of like open terrain. And all of a sudden, just pings go through me. I was walking second. My buddy Danny was walking point with the sweeper, and these little pings go in between us. And we're like, oh shit. Me and him, we'd been on deployment together, and we look at each other. We're like, fuck, really? And so we haul ass. There was this random wall like 4-foot high wall just in the middle of nowhere. And it was only about 30 or 40 feet long. And so we all bound up to that and get down behind the wall, and we're still taking fire. And, you know, I go to Danny, I go, hey, plant your feet and don't fucking move, because my assumption was they're shooting at us to get us to bound to this wall, and it's going to be laced with IEDs. It's going to be booby trapped like out the wazoo. And so we got up there to safety, and I was like, don't fucking move. I look back because I get a head count. I look back and we're missing 2 guys. And I'm like, where the fuck is Grant? And it was Grant and Roach was his name. No, it wasn't Roach. Oh, Geraldo. It was Grant and Geraldo. Geraldo went on to be a drill instructor. And I'm like, where the fuck are they? They were the boots. And so this was their first combat, like their first experience with combat.
They're going
they hit the deck. They like panicked and they hit the deck. We just ran up. So I'm like yelling at them. I'm like, get your fucking asses up here. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, get your fucking ass up here. They're right in the kill zone. And so we lay down some cover fire. We get them up there. Then all of a sudden I see these 3 or 4 Afghan dudes just randomly farming out there. And I'm like, do you not hear what's going on? I was like, get over here. I'm waving them over, and they're just casually walking over here. I'm like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Right. So we get them over, we put them behind the wall, we pat them down, make sure they don't have anything on them. Everything's cool. We secure them. And then we sit behind that wall for like 4 hours, dude. Like just 4 hours of fucking back and forth with these guys. And eventually my buddy that had dysentery called in a Hellfire from a Predator drone. And we got to watch that. Well, after the fact, but came in, hits them with a Hellfire. And then they ended up tracking them, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 miles into some town. And then special forces hit them that night. Turns out they took them back to like an IED factory or something. But yeah, it was like a 4-hour firefight, man. Like just back and forth. I had 7 magazines on me, 6 on me, and 1 in the gun. And I went through all but maybe 1. And like we were getting to the point where we're like, dude, we ain't got water, we ain't got ammo. We are out of 203 rounds. Like
it's a shitty feeling, bro.
Yeah, that's a fucking scary feeling, man. And eventually we did get the hill, which was probably like 1,000 meters away. We had a 240, and somebody got up on that hill and was laying down some fire with the 240, which alleviates it a little bit. We weren't getting constantly bombarded. But I actually
that 240 becomes a mortar target real quick, man.
Oh yeah. Especially if they're tracking on that. But I'll see if I can find the video, or excuse me, a picture, because we actually took a picture, behind the wall, like
because we're Marines, we do stupid shit, bro.
Well, we knew we were safe right there, so it's like, we're safe. Let's just go ahead and take a picture of it and do whatever. But I'll try and pull that up. We'll pull your video up while in the meantime.
Yeah, so this girl's Emma Dilly, the one with the blue jeans, white t-shirt, student at Dallas Baptist University, and she comes across this stranger here. And I can play it. It's only like 5 seconds. So I'll just let it go through. But complete stranger. She sees this dude that's obviously in a medical emergency, and she starts doing CPR on him. So until first responders get there and take over. I don't know the ultimate ending to this guy, but when I first saw that, and just for the record, not a medical student or anything like that. She learned CPR in high school. Whoa. And so the last time that she got trained on that was high school, and she's a college student, comes across a guy, like I said, medical distress. She starts doing CPR on him. So I'm just like, hell yeah, fucking moto, like let's go. And then when I kept looking at the video, then I started to get the, man, what the fuck? Like, pardon my French, but, that's what came across my mind. So I'm curious if you want to take a quick glance at it, if you can kind of figure out what made me go, what the frank, man? It's a young college student, her last training was in high school. Dude's in distress, and she's doing CPR.
I mean, she's just doing chest compressions. She's not doing anything else.
Yeah, I mean, the video's not long enough for us to know if she is, doing any breathing or anything like that. But nonetheless, she's doing chest compressions.
I don't know. What am I missing?
Well, don't focus on her. Focus on the scene.
I mean, nobody is doing anything. Nobody's
You got
trying to help. Nobody's.
look at all the grown men that can be like, hey, just tell me what to do.
Oh yeah,
And I'll take over. Yeah, if you've never done chest compressions on someone, it's exhausting, folks.
it is.
It is exhausting. Because it's not like, gentle pushes, like you're sometimes, damaging ribs, breaking ribs. But yeah, man, I saw this and I was like, supermodal for her. I really do pray that the guy survived. But just seeing the people around, it just gave me that vibe where,
Guys are useless.
guys are useless. Have you ever seen those videos where now they're what's the word? Not prank. God, I can't think of the word right now. But you get these guys. I see them a lot in Europe, and they'll have like a young kid, like some kid between the age of like 6 and 8, right, or 6 and 9, and the kid's walking, and a dude will come up and grab him and take him to the alleyway, right? But the adult and the kid know each other, and there's people that are recording this, and they purposely do it with people around. A man that and I'm telling you, they don't make it seem like, hey, what's going on? No, it looks like a legit kidnapping, bro.
Jeez.
And you'll see people, bro. As a matter of fact, I'll find the video right now and we'll show it through sometime. I'll bring it up, but you'll see people like a guy with his girlfriend and grab her and like move her away from it. Or you'll see there was one guy that he sees it happening, does a 180 and goes the other way. And there's all these people, bro, all these people that see it. And they get away from it and try to act like they didn't see it. It's like a little kid being snatched up. And it's like, what the? Like, you talk about wanting to beat the shit out of some people, bro. That's it. And then all of a sudden you'll see these people, these, other guys that see it, and they immediately start chasing after the guy and they'll grab him. This one guy looks like he knows MMA, jumps on the dude's back and starts putting him in the hold. And these people kind of rush in. They're like, wait. Like, don't kill this dude. So it's good to see that, there's some legit, sheepdogs out there, but so many people, it's disgusting, dude. That are
Why do you think that is? Because that's not like an uncommon thing.
Man, I don't know. I let me find the video so the audience can see what we're talking about, man. Honestly, I don't know, man. Like I really don't know, but it's. I mean, fear, I guess, is the only thing I can think of. Like, you're afraid they're going to take you too, but like, I can't see any situation where it's okay. I was going to say maybe an adult, but it's still not okay. But a kid, like if it's a kid, you sacrifice everything. Like, even if you got to jump in the van and fight these people, like, let me, I think I might have bookmarked it. Let me see. I was pissed. I think I might have bookmarked it because I was going to.
I'm trying desperately to find that photo while I
actually I was thinking about doing a post on it. I'm telling you, dude, I was worked up when I saw this shit, bro. Like,
I would be too, man. That's one of those things. Like, I was watching a video earlier today where it's in school, but I guess like this trans guy, man, woman, whatever, comes up and just grabs grabs a female, yanks her down to the ground and starts beating the shit out of her. And like, all the people around her are just filming this and watching this happen. And not only that, they were filming before like anything kind of took place. So it to me, that's premeditated at that point. And, you just, I don't know, man, you look at that and you're like, how can people be so awful to each other? I don't know what else to say about that.
I mean,
what else to call it?
Awful is exactly how you describe that, man.
That's disgusting, man.
Give me 1 second, folks. I
know we're trying to multitask. I should have had this ready to go myself, but I can't. So it is what it is. I suck. My iPhone's not smart enough. If I type Marines in the search, like, you can type like things in the search and it'll pop up, but Marines doesn't pop up when I'm in my camis. So apparently my phone isn't smart enough to know when I'm wearing my camis that it's the Marines.
Man, Gonna be.
I did get this here. I got this photo so I can show this while we're. There we go. Present share screen. So this was the wadi that I was telling you about before. This is the wadi here. That's my dumbass right there sitting on the cooler.
Oh man, do I remember just that image, dude?
Yeah,
looks just like freaking Iraq, bro.
Well, this was in Sangin, Afghanistan. Those are all the boats over there. You see all those boats, and like the water's so fast, it's flowing so fast that they go at like a 45-degree angle, and yeah, this was us staging. We went across the way, and then like probably up here in the top right-hand corner, I would say, just based on that shadow, that's the patrol base that we went to, where our guys were. And then from there, you know, we stepped and went out there. But that was not a fun trip. And the worst part was, it was my wife's birthday. And I called her before we left, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're stepping on a mission, and you know, everything will be fine. Nothing's gonna happen, you know, don't worry about it. But I won't be able to talk to you for like 4 or 5 days. And that's like the kiss of death, man. Like you try and like not scare them or anything, but you know, at the same time, she's got to know, like, yeah, this is probably not a great thing. You know, when he says like, don't worry about me, I'll be gone for 4 or 5 days, but you know, everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. Yeah. Famous last words.
All right. I found one. It's not the one that I was looking for, but it's very similar to it. And I looked at it for, it's a short clip. It's less than a minute. Let me bring it up. This one's nothing compared to the other. I mean, this is still bad, but it's not like the other one. Go ahead and bring it up, Ken, and I'll hit play.
This man tried a crazy experiment. He pretends to kidnap a kid on a busy street. At first, people just walk by as if nothing has happened. This is called the bystander effect. Since there are many people around, they think someone else will intervene. You won't believe what happens next. This lady sees the man taking the kid and follows him into an alley. He then reveals it was just a test. This man tried a...
He then reveals it was just a test. It's a good way to get shot.
Yeah, I agree with you, but dude, look at this. Grown ass man, bro. Grown ass man right here. Look at this one. Watch. This is this.
First, people just walk by as if nothing has happened.
Look at holding his coffee and just looks. What the fuck, dude?
People are fucking sick, man. People suck.
And just look at this. This is not something that looks natural again. This doesn't look like a parent trying to whip their kid's ass or something.
This man tried a crazy experiment. He pretends to kidnap a kid on a busy street. At first, people just...
like, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know.
No, Lumpy and Gingy said it best. No more alpha males. They have, well, and not only that,
it's a woman. A woman went after him. It's just, how do you not feel compelled just to do the right thing?
Motherly instinct. Women have an instinct like that. Men men should have that, and I think most men would, but apparently that one guy was like, yeah, I'm not getting involved in that. I don't know. I would never, I would be all over that in 2 seconds.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I would yell at someone, hey, call 911, right? To get people's attention and chase them down. Because here's the thing. There's no way that a grown person carrying a kid is going to outrun you. So no. At a minimum, you probably at least try to scare them off to drop the kid. And if there's somebody that's running with you, you tell them, hey, take care of the kid, and you go chasing after the suspect and bring a can of whoop ass and apprehension with you,
Let's see. You ready to get into this Thomas Massie shit that you started this morning? Took up all my Badlands daily time.
I am ready to get into that.
Minutes.
I do got a video for that.
Oh, I found it. Oh no, I found a condensed. Can I revert this? No, I can't. Son of a crap. I found the picture and it's cut. Like I cropped it so it was just me for some reason. I think I used it for like a background image on something. Motherfucker.
Why does everybody say I'm stirring the pot?
You're always stirring the pot.
I'm not stirring the pot. This is a position I feel very strong in.
Well, you're very strongly wrong about it. So
I am not. I got a video that's going to prove I ain't wrong about it either.
Okay. I did. Somebody. Well, I can say a name because it's just a name. Curtis actually DM'd me after Daily this morning and was like, "I got an argument for why there's not co-equal branches of government, and it's pretty interesting. So we'll talk about it after you find whatever video you're trying to find."
Oh, it's ready. I got it.
Propaganda.
No, this ain't propaganda. This
you're all propaganda. By the way, Massie looks totally different.
I agree.
There's something going on with that. I noticed this the other day.
I agree. When I did that video post the other day, I purposely used the two different versions of him. Yeah. Just to see if people would tag on to that, and people did. And they're like, that's two different, like, looking Massie. I'm like, I don't know, but
I don't want to get into the conspiracy theory. The Joe Biden died in 2019 and blah blah blah. From the Andy Biggs clip we played this morning, but that definitely does not look like the Thomas Massie that I know.
Look, at a beard and mustache will change a person's appearance. Not that.
But that hair is fucking weird, and yeah, no, man. But anyways, go ahead, play it. I'm listening.
All right, here we go.
Just real quick, they're redacting women under the idea, the premise that they might be victims themselves. But the allegation is now that some of these women were actually helping Epstein to find girls.
Yeah.
To find kids.
And that's probably the case. So, yeah. And then I found another document while I was over there where they had, this is an FBI document. It's not even a witness statement. The FBI prepared this document and they listed Leslie Wexner as a co-conspirator to child sex trafficking, not just sex trafficking, child sex trafficking. And that's a 2019 FBI document.
Yeah.
So I came out publicly and I said, the DOJ needs to unredact this. And they did. Now, Bondi's rebuttal to that, it was
just real quick.
I'm going to play just the first part one more time because I want to make sure people hear what's going on here.
They're redacting women under the idea, the premise that they might be victims themselves. But the allegation is now that some of these women were actually helping Epstein to find girls.
Yeah.
To find kids.
And that's probably the case. So, yeah. And then I found another document.
Are you fucking kidding me, bro? You're going to sit here and tell me that he cares about the kids and the victims, but this Newsmax reporter tells him, hey, bro, some of the names that are redacted of these victims were helping to recruit, victims for Epstein. And then he doubles down and says they were getting kids for Epstein. And Massie's like, yeah. But let me tell you about Les Wexner. Let me tell you about this Les Wexner document over here. And you're going to tell me you don't got a fucking agenda, bro?
What were you thinking he was going to say right there?
I was thinking he was going to say, yeah, some of these women were trafficking kids and we need to look into it. We need to see, are some of these women using the guise of being victims to overshadow the fact that they're actually suspects, that they're crooks? We do need to look into this. We need to make sure that all these victims that are portraying themselves as victims are truly victims. So this way they don't go and destroy the perception of legitimate victims and all there. So you know what? Me and my homeboy Rokana, we're going to go through and we're going to start vetting some of these victim stories to make sure that they're legit, because we know that this was a sophisticated operation. How about that? How about the fucking truth?
So, I mean, we already know this though. Like we've had like Giuffre.
Okay. We don't know that that Wexner was in the documents. He's talking about that. We don't know.
No. But like but you're bringing up something that we already are aware of. Like
name one thing that Massie's bringing up that we weren't already aware of.
No. I'm not saying that Massie's bringing up anything we're not aware of, but you're wanting him to go further on the girls.
He would ask a direct question, and the reporter doubled down, and rather than addressing that question, he just says, "Yeah, but let me tell you about Les Wexner in the FBI document." He didn't want to talk about it.
That's because that was the big thing that was supposed to be the talking point.
It doesn't matter. It
Hold on,
doesn't
you gotta
matter.
let me,
He
you
was
gotta
asked
let
the
me
question.
finish, dude. You got to let me finish.
All right.
That they double redacted. They double redacted these documents, with the 6 people that they named, which, by the way, they don't even know who 3 of them are. Like, I was reading this the other day on Daily, I think on Wednesday or Tuesday. They don't even know who 3 of those billionaires are. This is according to the Guardian, so take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, that's a conundrum. What do you do in a situation like that where you have these girls that were, presumably under the age of 18, so they're still minors, and
That's a negative.
and
We have open source information.
you're not a very good debater.
I'm not trying to debate. I'm providing you information. Some of the victims that Massie and MTG brought on there were recruiting girls when they were over the age of 18.
A lot of them were. They were all because they were paying them to do it. They were giving them and they were letting them off the hook. And so, that's like the prison. Well, it's not a prisoner's dilemma, but like that's like, what do you do in a situation like that where you have these, young and relatively naive women or girls that are being trafficked, that are being sexually abused, and they're told by their abusers, "Hey, you have to bring us 2 girls next week," and they're like, "Well, shit, if I don't bring them 2 girls next week, what are they going to do to me?" I mean, I don't know the situation. I don't know the situation there.
I am glad you brought up that position, because I've had a lot of people push back against me, and they're like, "Well, they were victims, and yes, for another 3 or 4 years they did this." So here's my position. So some of these pedophiles, these grown men and grown women that were molesting children, they were molested when they were kids too. It's I mean, that statistic is widely known. So my argument to everybody that wants to take that position that these women were still victims, well, then that means when these men go and molest little kids, we should be like, well, you know what? They're victims, because they were subjected to that, and it created this mentality, and I'm sure there's victims. I think we would all say, fuck no, millstone and the ocean, guillotine, or a firing squad.
So strangely enough, that is actually the argument they made in Colorado when they passed a law out there with a mandatory minimum, or excuse me, I think they tried to lower the mandatory maximum for these crimes to 2.5 years. And Ash isn't in the chat, but she would correct me if I was wrong. But the argument they made in changing the law was that a lot of these suspects, these people that are pedophiles, that are raping children, themselves were sexually abused, and somehow that makes it okay. Now, there's a big difference between somebody that is molested when they were a young child and then goes on to molest them when they're molest other children when they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. There's a big difference between
What's the difference?
The age.
They were a victim. They got victimized. So let me ask you this.
Hold on. You got to let me finish, man. Like, you got to let me make a point.
You got me fired up, man.
It doesn't matter if you're fired up. This is how discussions work. So you're talking about a situation here, or I brought up a situation where there's a 30, 40-year gap, and these people are victimizing children completely separate from the situation that they were originally in. In this situation here, these women are still, or these girls are still beholden to Jeffrey Epstein. They're still under his grasp when they're out there recruiting other women. So, it's not quite that, well, it's not at all the same as the Colorado story that I brought up there. These are women that are still intimidated, afraid, fearful of their assaulter, their rapist, the one that's taking advantage of them. Now you can have the floor.
I get the point you're trying to make, but would it, and this sounds disgusting for me to even say this because it's so against my belief, but I'm trying to make a point. Wouldn't a pedophile then have an argument that my brain and reasoning was so damaged as a child that I didn't develop properly? Yeah. And I shouldn't be held accountable for what I did because my brain's not right.
Yes.
But
that's different. Your brain not being right is different from fearing for your life because of the person that's attacking you. You're still intimately involved in the contemporary time that you're in. The example I gave is 30, 40 years down the road. That person that was assaulting you is probably dead at that point, or hopefully locked up.
What stops you once you turn to the age of 18 as an adult from saying, I'm not going over there no more?
So that's what Jeffrey Epstein was able to kind of like ingrain in these people's heads is I'm so powerful. Look at all these famous people. I know I will find you. If you, and who knows the extent of what.
So then let's carry that on to the Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So then we have victims then. We don't have suspects all over Hollywood.
I mean, we could have, both can be true. You can have a victim that's also a suspect.
You abandon being a victim the second you victimize somebody else.
They're not victimizing them. They're recruiting them, and they're bringing them to him.
That's victimizing.
But they're also minors that are doing this.
I'm not talking about when they were minors. I'm willing to concede that the recruiting they did as minors, as bad and awful as it is, they're minors.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, for instance, the woman I'm going to bring on the screen, and it's a 4-minute clip, but I want to play the whole thing because it's important. It's 4 minutes, 16 seconds. This is one of the main ladies that Massie and MTG have been getting behind. And I want you guys to listen to what she's saying and listen to her rationale. And this is suspect thinking, not victim. Let me hit play.
I started using drugs. I was drinking all the time, smoking weed. I just kind of wanted to just vanish, just disappear. The girl that introduced me to Jeffrey Epstein went to high school with me. She said, I know this guy, and he would give me $200 just to give him a massage. And my first immediate reaction or thought that came to my mind was, this is my ticket out of West Palm. This is my way out. We drove to Palm Beach Island. And we actually walked in. It wasn't the front door. It was almost like the side door that led into the kitchen. I remember we walked up a flight of stairs that kind of curved. And the first thing that I noticed, because it was so distracting, was the wall art. A lot of nudity, naked statues, naked pictures. It made me feel uncomfortable. And then I saw like a photograph of kids. It wasn't normal. The massage began as a massage. Then he turned over. He was naked on the table. And I just remember feeling really scared. Just brought up a lot of bad emotions.
Did he touch you?
Yeah, in inappropriate places.
Does he use his hand? Does he
He uses his hand, and I guess it's like a vibrator. But I refused to do that. He tried to touch me below the belt. I declined. I told him I didn't feel comfortable. No, it's not going to happen. At that moment, he was offering me, okay, well, this isn't going to happen. So just if you have any friends, if you bring them to me, I'll give you $200.
just to bring a girl?
Yeah,
Okay.
just to bring her.
And the girl that was going knew that she would have to massage him.
She knew everything.
How long have you been working for him?
I probably worked for him for a year. I probably recruited maybe 24 girls. But those girls brought other girls too.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's like a train.
Who else was underage?
Under 18? All of them.
All of them?
All of them. I would recruit girls that were friends. I would just casually bring it up, and we would drive together to his house. I would take him to the room, and then I would walk out. Sometimes I would wait out by the pool. When the girls would leave, Jeffrey would come outside to pay me. He would say, how are you? How is everything? How's your family? He wanted you to think he was a friend and that he cared.
All right, I talked to my boss a little bit, which is why I'm here.
At this point, you've clearly implicated yourself in a crime. Okay, you're taking girls to somebody's house for the purpose of prostitution. More importantly, and more significantly, one of those girls was 14 at the time. Okay, now that's a pretty significant second-degree felony.
I remember them being really tough on me, and I think at one point I started crying, and I remember feeling really scared. and they treated me like I was his right-hand man. But what about the girl that recruited me? What happened to her? What about the girl that recruited me? I feel like I've been putting the blame on myself for so long, bashing myself and just being hard on myself, but I shouldn't feel guilty about it because I was 16 and he's the adult and he should not make me feel guilty. I've never said, never ever like come forward like stuff.
Sound like a victim?
So I would have liked to have heard the entirety of that after the detective said, it sounds like you implicated yourself in a crime. Did she say how old she was during that? 17?
16 when she started, and I think she did it for 4 years. So
but during the interview, she was in her 20s
at the time of the interview?
Yeah.
I don't know what her age was at the time of the interview.
Well, because a couple of things. First and foremost, the detective tried to make it seem like she was going to be the one that was held responsible for all of this, rather than using the information she was providing to go after the actual John in this situation, which was Epstein.
No, that's exactly. I would have said the exact same thing as him.
Yeah,
Hey,
but how did he follow up though?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, because the reason you want to pressure her at that point,
you want him to feel like, oh shit, I gotta sing, right? I gotta say something, right? But if he doesn't do that, and this is the key, because we know that the 2008 case ultimately led to nothing, right? Probation, essentially, a little bit of time in a camp where you got to go home on the weekends, right?
Nothing.
And so when you look at how this was handled by the detectives, what did the detective do after he kind of started to turn the screws on her and make her feel like she needs to tell him everything? Did he stop there? Did he keep going with it? That's what I'm getting at. Now, she says that granted, I understand they're underage girls, so that's a crime to even, attempt to have sex with them. But she said when she said no, Epstein didn't push it any further.
I know.
And so he brought the girls over, and she got $200 for giving him a massage. And so you brought the other girls over there, $200 to massage him. Now, I don't know what the.
Well, hold on, because there's another fact she said. He touched me inappropriately. He used a vibrator.
Mm-hmm.
So she
I agree.
So she knows he does sexual assault against minors. She says that that there was artistic images and photographs of kids. She says it made her feel uncomfortable. Here's the thing. She continued to go back, and here's the other thing. In her statement, she never says, "Well, I recruited girls because if I didn't, I was afraid he was going to kill me." She doesn't say, "Hey, I recruited girls because I was afraid that if I didn't, then he was going to do these things to me." She says, "No, he gave me $200 every time." And she also says, "I saw this as my way out." That's motive, man. That's not victimhood. That's straight suspect. There's another one, and I want to say maybe she was the one that was 22. I don't want to convince, or mixed stories given the strong allegations. So I'll just say I don't know to how long she did it. I have to go back and watch it. But there was another one I know that did it, and she was 22 when she was doing it. And hers is even more sinister. She says, gosh, I want to say she was the blonde one, if I remember correctly. I got so many of these damn things bookmarked, it's disgusting. But she says, I was looking for friends that I know had credibility issues, so that if they said anything, nobody would believe them. And she goes, and I was looking for friends that were, poor and wanted a way out. That's not victimhood. She was the one that said that was one of the ones that was raising her hand over there behind Pam Bondi. And so there's a reason this Newsmax guy brought this question to Massie's attention. And Massie had an opportunity there to be fair. I'm not saying he had to go and convict him and say, hey, this, and this, but he had an opportunity to be fair, say, hey, yeah, I'm aware of this. This information's been given to me as well. And we need to look into this, and we need to make sure that we're aligning with legitimate victims and maybe people that maybe there's other things that need to be investigated still there. I would have respected that response. He literally just says, yeah, Yeah. But Les Wexner, let's get back to my agenda. That's bullshit.
You also don't know what the scope of the interview was supposed to be. Like, they give you, before you go on air with these, big platforms, they tell you before the show, hey, we're bringing you on to talk about this. And when you try and blindside somebody, which Massie is a target for that because of the feud with Trump, which I think is all kayfabe, but because of the feud with Trump, he's a target for it by these, kind of mainstream apparatuses. And so if that was not something that was supposed to be the subject, that would be pretty, I could see why he would deflect and get away from that topic when it's not something that he was prepared to discuss on air.
I'll give him, hey, maybe it wasn't I gotcha. There's still an appropriate way to respond. There's there's nothing incriminating. He's not going to get himself in trouble.
I think
his mere response by saying yes, thinking and saying yes, that's acknowledgement that he knows that some of these victims that they've been promoting were recruiters. He's fucked now. He can't get around that. And the fact that he didn't provide an original statement there, he backed himself into a corner where people like me, we're going to exploit that and put that shit all over social media and be like, why didn't you address this? You're going hard at Trump because here's the thing, in fairness, it sucks if you go onto a show and you're told it's going to be about something and they try to do the I gotcha. I agree, and I don't think that's right, but people do it. But what do you think he's doing to Pam Bondi, the DOJ, and Trump? He's doing the same shit.
No,
he knows.
Scripted.
Here's the thing. He knows there's 3 reasons names can be redacted: victims, minors, active investigations. He knows that. You never hear him mention active investigations. Not one single time has he said, this is him all the time. They can redact names because, they're victims or they're minors, but maybe, and these people right here are suspects. He doesn't say, if the DOJ has this name redacted because they're still doing an active investigation, then I understand that. But if there's not an active investigation into this person, this name needs to be redacted. I totally would respect him for that, but he doesn't. And the reason he doesn't is because he wants that to feed into the fire of, oh, Pam Bondi and them ain't doing shit. Oh, Trump ain't doing shit. They're covering for pedophiles. It's people like him that's subversion. That's literally Yuri Bezmenov's ideological subversion to split up the base that's supporting President Trump. That's exactly what it's about.
Okay, relax. This whole Epstein thing is a fucking show, bro. You and I have been talking about this since the first demands for the files came out. Everything around Epstein. Pam Bondi is not going to say a damn word about the Epstein files.
Until the RICO case.
Exactly. So, why is it so hard for you to think that Thomas Massie is the one guy that's putting all this stuff out there and keeping this fresh in the conservatives' mind, not just the Democrats that are screaming for blood, but he's keeping it fresh in folks' minds? I don't understand why that's that hard for you to understand.
I'll tell you why. Because 5th generation warfare talks about targeted audiences and targeted groups, TAs and TGs.
Mm-hmm.
If Massie was trying to facilitate kayfabe to get this in the minds of people, he would be interacting in circles. It's because he goes on X, for those that don't know. He would go into spaces like some of the ones I host, or people like me that have MAGA supporters in there, that have Trump supporters that are in there. He would go in those spaces and deliver this sentiment, but he doesn't, because I've been to the spaces that he goes into and I know the space hosts that he operates with. And these are people that came in and said, oh, we support Trump, we support MAGA. But when you go and you research these people, because I have my files, you research them, you look at them the last 2 years and 3 years, they have zero content that talks about the stuff that Trump did well. Every single time they do it, and this goes back to articles that I've written where people do things under the guise of, well, I'm just concerned, I'm just asking questions. And we should question our government. We should question President Trump. But if you're trying to be honest about it, that means you're also addressing the things that he's done well. And when none of these people do that, that tells me there's an agenda. Massie only goes into those spaces. And the people that are in those spaces are all the people that call Trump a pedophile, that come this. That's not moving the needle to do something that's good. That's inflaming the base that's actually attacking President Trump. If it was
Has Massie ever called Trump a pedophile?
He has not. He just says that he protects his elite friends. And it's what he's implying. And we're not stupid, man. We know what he's implying. He's implying he's protecting pedophiles.
I mean, the Lutnick expose, the Warsh expose, those things are concerning. The Bannon thing, I don't know what the op is on Bannon right now, but these are concerning things. These are like legitimate concerns.
That they are legitimate concerns. But if we're going to give Massie a pass because it's kayfabe, we're not going to give Bannon a pass to say he infiltrated Epstein to give intel to President Trump.
Very well could be. This is one of the reasons why I don't really touch the Epstein files unless it's something that leads on to Trump being an informant, because I thoroughly have believed that Trump is an informant in this. And so at that point,
believing that it's the cat's out of the bag. You see the FBI report that says he was an informant.
I mean, I think it's a little more than just, talking to police. Like, oh, thank God you finally went after this guy. Everybody knew what he was doing. I think it's a little more than that. A lot more than that, actually. But here, check out this clip. I want to see if you pick up on this strange thing here, which, by the way, this is the clip right here that I was like, that's not Thomas Massie, but watch this.
An example of something, maybe it wasn't intentional on their part. I'd like to hear his take on the redaction of the CEO, who's listed as a co-conspirator in the 2019 child sex trafficking case.
So can I ask you, because, and I want to ask if this is the same person, Todd Blanche also said about that tonight that the document you're citing there has victim names in it.
Correct.
Seeming to say that's why there are redactions. He said, we have just unredacted Les Wexner's name from this document, but his name already appears in the file thousands of other times. And he says the Justice Department is hiding nothing. Is that the retired CEO that you're referencing?
It is. He unredacted it after I found it. That's a problem. And I'm glad they've admitted they made a mistake by redacting that.
So you're saying it was redacted when you went in there today, and after you tweeted that, they unredacted it?
Correct. Now he's got 4 other names he needs to unredact. Did he respond to that? There's a list of 20 people. And there's 4 men in there that need to be unredacted. Here's another troubling thing that I found.
Can you say who those 4 men are tonight?
I don't think they're well known. And so if I did, it wouldn't matter, but I could probably say them on the floor of the House. But I'll give the DOJ a chance to do what they did in these 2 examples, where I've discovered something and now they've responded.
Go ahead. You know what I'm going to say, so go ahead.
Well, you go ahead first then.
If the names don't matter, why is he going to say I'm on the floor of the House? I'll tell you why he's going to say it on the floor of the House.
Speech and debate clause, yes.
Because he's protected. He has absolute immunity by the speech and debate clause. So if he says anything in there that's bullshit, he can't get sued. But if he said those names here on the air, then all of a sudden those people could be like, hey, you're going and putting my name out there and you haven't done a thorough investigation. I have an alibi. I never did this. He can be sued civilly, and in some situations even have criminal things brought against them.
Yep. He's also going to be naming people that have several more zeros attached to the end of their net worth than he does, and they can make your life a living hell if you don't have that immunity.
Can. But let me ask you, CannCon, because I know your answer would be the same as mine. If you went in there as a congressman and you saw what you believe was absolute evidence, irrefutable evidence of powerful people that did atrocities to kids, would you be waiting to be protected by the speech and debate clause, or would you tell American people, hey, these are the scumbags and this is what I saw?
If I was privy to a pending investigation, I'd be very careful about.
Well, that aside, because Massie's not telling us that. He's just saying, hey, he went in there, he got access to these documents that were all unredacted.
I would probably say it.
So would I. I'd go in there and I'd be like, hey, I saw this. This is the evidence I saw, and these are these guys. And if that ain't you guys, let's go to discovery. Let's go to trial.
Yeah, I would probably say it. That's not the point I was trying to make on this. The chat is fucking awesome tonight. This chat is so awesome. Apparently,
both of them YouTube
triggering a bunch of sensitive little people about this. Oh my God. Be triggered. Please be triggered, because my opinion does not align with yours. Watch his hand movements in this part
that you're referencing.
Who's he pointing at? Now watch it again for context.
Thousands of other times, and he says the Justice Department is hiding nothing. Is that the retired CEO that you're referencing?
It is.
I don't know if maybe the monitor was in front of him, maybe he was pointing at the monitor, or was he pointing at somebody that was saying, yeah, it's okay, or I don't know. That was kind of weird. This Thomas
I would
Massie in
say
general is weird.
I would say the monitor, but then the monitor would be in an awkward spot. The direction he was pointing at.
I mean, that
Because
yeah, to
normally it'd be
me,
the one that's right behind them that they look at. You know what
to
I mean?
me, that was really weird. That was
Yeah,
really, there was good.
I don't know. Alan says the camera dude. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the direction that he was pointing at.
This was the other thing. Well, okay, but we don't have to play.
Here's what I will say. If anything makes me think that this is kayfabe, which I don't, but if there was ever a moment where I pause, I'm going to tell you guys what it is. I have actively, and it's been no secret, been coming after Massie on social media. And a lot of these posts have gone viral, over 100,000 views. They've gotten his attention. He has never blocked me. And there's other people that go at him. Posts don't go viral, actually gets minimum interaction, and they get blocked. This dude won't block me. As a matter of fact, I exposed him using a bot farm. So he has the Thomas Massie campaign one. So not the
just reactivated that, yeah.
Yeah, so he has the campaign one. And on one of the comments, a lot of these trolls started coming in, right? And you know, we know how to go through it. You go through, you see they have no original content. They repost all the stuff that's like, you know, depending on what the theme is, all Massie. They have like 13 people that are following them, their new accounts or their extremely old accounts with like little interaction, right? So it's easy to identify these bot things. And so, of course, I dial up and I have so many damn files, bro. It's the detective part. I can't let it go. So I start checking these bots. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, holy shit. I click. So I'm like, all these bots have the same follower. It's the Thomas Massie campaign one. And so I start going through who they're following. And I'm like, holy shit. There's one of the bots. There's one of those bots. There's one of those bots. So I'm not going to say Massie's doing it because I don't know what ownership or access that he has to that campaign one. But my suspicions are, I'm going to navigate this very carefully because I'm not protected by the speech and debate clause. But my suspicion is that one of the persons that has access to that is utilizing bots because it's consistent over and over and over. And since I brought it up, a lot of people have been keeping tabs on it and they've been doing the same thing, identifying these things. So if you have such a honest impact in following, why are you using bots?
So the campaign account is dormant for almost a year and a half. I can't even remember the last time because I follow both of those accounts, and the campaign account remains pretty dormant, inactive. So I don't know. Perhaps
the campaign one now comments. That one comments a lot. I know what you're talking about. That period when when he didn't need to raise funding, all that goes dormant. But it's an active account now. If you go and look at it,
I know. But what I'm saying is, in order, I don't know if it's something he's doing. I have no idea, or if it's his social media director, whoever's running his social media for him that's doing it. Whatever the case might be. But the fact that he hasn't blocked you is very interesting. Almost as if the whole thing's just fake.
and I'm supposed to make the argument, and that's why I said if there was one thing that made me pause and say maybe, but then if that's the case, he's doing his role and I'm doing my role.
So I watched yesterday. I watched probably about 3/4 of Pam Bondi's hearing, and absolute shit show on both sides. Her as well as the shenanigans, the circus that the Democrats put on, bringing the victims in there and calling her out after she literally in her opening statement said, "I apologize to the victims for what they've had to go through and everything else, especially what they've had to go through lately, all that stuff." And then I can't remember who it was. Was it
I just want to address Liberty Line in the chat. It says he can't legally block you from his government account. And I track what you're saying. This goes into the First Amendment argument that's made. And I agree with everybody on that. The thing is he's blocking dozens of people a day because some of them are my friends. So I do have firsthand knowledge of him blocking people.
Campaign
his account is blocking people.
But the campaign account's not subject to the First Amendment blocking.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about his actual account.
Oh,
his congressman account is blocking people.
Oh,
but anyways, I did a whole thread and I said, hey, if you're blocked by his government account, post it here, and that shit went viral, bro. And here's the thing. You're not supposed to do that. They already ruled on that.
Yeah, Biden versus Knight First Amendment at Columbia. It was Trump originally, but when Trump left office.
Neither one of his accounts will block me. So that's the only thing that makes me say, maybe.
I think ND Patriot says Jayapal, and I think it is Jayapal, but I'm gun shy to say Jayapal because last time when I was talking about Ariana Presley, I said Jayapal, and I'm gun shy to call Jayapal. But yeah, it was Jayapal that said, like, will you now turn and apologize? And Bondi's like, this is a fucking circus. I literally apologized like 10 minutes ago when I was reading my opening statement. You just want to get that video, that image of Pam Bondi turning and saying, I'm sorry. So good on Bondi for not, conceding to that and whatever. But again, the thing is, and this is something like I see all these people freaking out over how Pam Bondi handled it. And I'm not the biggest Bondi fan out there at all. I think she has a role, and the fact that President Trump has kept her there for almost, a year and a half, whatever it is, not a year and a half, but a full year.
It'll be a year in March.
Just past a year, I think. But I think that's why they did the hearing, was for her first full year, like as a recap. But either way, like I firmly think that, and maybe you can comment to this because you were a detective for many, many years, that if there was something going on in terms of a big wide scale investigation and, perhaps a RICO prosecution that was getting ready, there's literally zero she can say. Same with Kash Patel. He can't say anything. So when they ask him these questions and they're like, kind of gaffing it off like, oh, well, the stock market, it's like, I can't turn around and talk about the case.
You absolutely, you could, if it was a regular case, you couldn't talk about it, let alone a RICO case. No, she absolutely can't talk about it. And this is, one of the things that I talked about, one of the videos that I did, this is where the agenda takes advantage because they know that they can't comment. So in that absence of rebuttal, you can paint the narrative however you want. Because, and this is why I remind people, is when you go back to March of 2025, preceding Bindergate, before Bindergate, people were already calling for the resignation of Pam Bondi. Literally not even 21 days, and they were calling for her resignation. So you already knew that there was an agenda because listen, they can't attack Trump because every time they attack Trump, his base grows and gets bigger. Yeah. So what do? You have to attack the support structure that's around him. And so that's what they did. They came after Bounty. They came after Cash. They came after Bongino. They all of them. And trust me, I want Susie Wiles replaced. I want Todd Blanche replaced. I've been very public about those statements lately. But even then, in the beginning, I still, even when it came to Susie Wiles, I reserved my opinion because you got to give these people some time. And when you look at the DOJ and you look at the FBI and people say shit ain't happening, are you crazy? Are you crazy? There's all kinds of stuff that's happening. As a matter of fact, I think they posted it today. It might have been yesterday or today. But Tom Homan came out and said, we've rescued 3,300 kids in Minnesota.
Let's go.
3,300 kids in Minnesota alone during this ICE debacle. You know what that tells you? How is Tom Homan and them rescuing kids? They're not the FBI. What are they? They're apprehending illegals. So what does that tell you? That when they're apprehending these illegals, they have child victims with them. That's the only way that ICE is doing this recovery. And none of these people that are pushing against ICE and pushing against the DOJ and the FBI and CBP, HSI, none of them are talking about that. Why? Because it's an agenda. It's all of it's an agenda. And so, and this is where, my frustration comes with, my community, the Q and Anon and all that is when you try to.
Oh, I thought you were going with the Mexican community.
I'm American, baby. I'm American with a lot of shade of brown. But and people are like, how American are you? I'm like, let's conquer Mexico, Central America, and South America. That's all American I am.
What kind of American are you?
What kind of American are you? Uh, that's so cool. But the point I'm trying to make is this is where we have to navigate these conversations very responsibly. It's actually one of the reasons I really like that we have opposing views when it comes to Massie, because that's important. You have to look at it through the lens of, okay, well, is he probably not bad? And what arguments can I make for that? And if you're someone that subscribes to my theory and you think that Massie's a complete piece of shit, like I do, then what information and actions are there to support that? You have to have that balance, or we just become an echo chamber. And then that becomes dangerous. But to the point of navigating these, the kayfabe talk, not everything's kayfabe. And when we go and say that everything's, kafabi, what are we doing? We're actually making excuses for the deep state that's trying to destroy us. I see a lot of people trying to call the Super Bowl performance, a white hat operation. And my opinion is, are you fucking retarded?
Well,
Lady Gaga, the one that was hanging out with Marina Abramovich, going in, naked into thing, doing scooping the pudding to represent, cannibalism. That's who the white hats are going to use to push that kind of thing with Spanish, where Americans don't even understand. Like, come on. That was an attack at ICE. It was an attack. Not one single white person, in that halftime show. That was an absolute attack at the American culture, not a support of the American culture. But when we come out and say, well, no, they showed the frog. That wasn't the Pepe frog. That's the Cuy. That's part of the Puerto Rican culture.
Yeah, that's Puerto Rican culture. They didn't. People don't know that.
and that's the part that's crazy, because then what happens? We give them a pass for the evil shit that they were doing during the halftime, and that's why I'm telling people, it's like, don't take the lazy way out. Well, here's my thing to that, because I am a trust the plan, bro. The difference is I can tell you what the plan is, and I can articulate the phases and the steps and what's happened. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, you're a trust the plan, bro." And when I see these, when they approach me on these virtual town halls, and they're like, "Oh, you're just a trust the plan," I say, "I am. Can you tell me what the plan is?" "Well, you're a trust the plan, bro." I go, "So okay, so you're criticizing something, and you don't even know what it is. So it could be a good plan, or it could be a bad plan, but you don't even know what it is, but you can criticize it." And they shut up and they leave because they got an agenda. On the same token, I tell some of the people that align with me, they're like, "Yeah, man, we got to trust the plan." I ask them, "What's the plan?" "Well, you know the plan, bro." And what's the plan? And if you're out there and you're in the audience, I know I'm probably pissing some people off. I don't even want to look at the chat because they're probably pissed right now. But if you're one of those people out there that's saying trust the plan and you can't articulate what it is, you're part of the problem. You're part of the people that's allowing the deep state and these others that are passing an agenda to discredit trust the plan. Because there is a legitimate process and operation to what the plan looks like that's already happened, the part of the plan that we're in, and the part of the plan that's coming that requires, an assessment and analysis based on all the other prior things that we talked about. And there is a way that you can show that with tangibles, not speculate. What's coming is speculation. That's an analysis. But what we're in and what's happened, that's not speculation. There's a plenty of things that we can articulate that show evidence of a plan. That's why I go at Massie hard, bro.
Do you go at Lindsey Graham hard?
Ladybug Lindsay? If there wasn't enough people, I would. But I defer Ladybug Lindsay to Chad Caton. I'm fired up because I don't think there's anybody that can expose Lindsey Graham. Here's the thing with Lindsey Graham, and this is going to piss people off. Why does Trump keep supporting people like Lindsey Graham? Because he controls the Senate. He just has that much power in the Senate. And until we're in a position of somebody that can do that, that's just where it's going to go. Like, for instance, there's 4 key Senate races that we got to focus on. And one of those happens to be Susan Collins. Do I like her? Hell no. Do I want to replace? Hell yes. Is there anybody that's going to, from the GOP party right now that's present, that's going to be able to do that? Nope. And if you want to talk about someone that votes with Trump's agenda more than 90% of the time, that's Susan Collins. And I don't like her. But the thing is if you look at the House races in 23, if you look at the last 23 House races for incumbent presidents, we've lost 20 of them. The incumbent president, regardless of party. So that means in the last 23 House races for an incumbent president, only 3 times you've won. So that means there's an 87% chance, or somewhere around that number, that Trump's going to lose the House in 2026 midterms, outside of him doing something that we all want, right? and I want that.
Christy Nome tomorrow, baby. Maricopa.
I'm hoping, bro.
12:30.
I got fingers crossed, bro. But assuming that everything remains status quo, then there's a very strong likelihood, an 87% chance that we lose the House. And so if that's the case, we absolutely cannot lose the Senate, which means that we're probably going to have to support people we don't like. Now, you can let the emotion say, well, it's this and it's that, and I get it. But do you want to lose control so they can impeach him and not let him pass his agenda the way he wants? Like, our contingencies have to be for worst case scenario. And if Trump doesn't make the moves of, federalizing these elections or doing whatever the case may be, or Kristi Noem and Gabbard coming out, because we're bingo time for some of these primaries when it comes to, this congressional races coming up for midterms. Like, I just, there's an urgency, and that urgency translates when I take shit out on Massie because he's a piece of shit.
He's not. So what are we betting on in his primary?
You're betting that he's going to win. I'm betting that he's going to lose to Ed, and we're betting a steak dinner.
Steak dinner.
As a matter of fact, let's make this really good.
Oh,
let's go surf and turf.
Surf and turf.
Steak and lobster.
Damn, bro. Steak and lobster. That implies that we have to go. When's the primaries? Look that up real quick. When the Kentucky primary is?
Let me look.
It's going to be before. I would assume it's going to be before Deadwood. You don't want to surf and turf in Deadwood.
No, nowhere inland.
Josh agrees with me. By the way, just throwing that out there.
I know he does. Primary election day for Kentucky, May 19th.
May 19th. So
it would be the Deadwood, or it would be the GART after
June,
that.
No,
July.
It would be Deadwood. Deadwood's in June, the end of June, last week of June.
So it would be. So let's just stick to steak.
All right, just steak.
Yeah.
But I mean, Deadwood's doesn't have the greatest steaks. We'll go to the nice place.
That one place where JB stayed at, he said the steak was phenomenal. I heard a lot of good things about it. Just never got
JB doesn't have high standards. I have broke bread with JB. I actually made JB a tomahawk ribeye, and that was good. No, I think I know where JB's talking about, and the steak there is actually pretty good. I'm not taking a shot at our brother. We got one more sponsor, and then let's start to wrap this show up here. I wish you could read this. Do you have the ad read for this?
I do not.
Well, then that really sucks because I can't do the alpha voice, but I'll try. Fellas, quick question. Is your beard intentional, or is it just happening on your face? If it's dry, crunchy, or doing whatever it wants, that's not rugged. That is neglect. Soft Disclosure beard oil fixes that. A few drops. I can't do it anymore. A few drops softens the hair, conditions the skin underneath, and takes your beard from chaotic to dialed in. No grease, no overpowering fake scent, just clean ingredients that actually work. And now we've added the upgrade, a new boar bristle beard brush engraved with the Soft Disclosure logo and proudly made right here in the US of A. Real bristles, real control. It distributes the oil evenly, trains the beard, and makes it look like you meant to grow it that way. And here's the move. When you grab a beard oil and you'll get the brush for 25% off. If you buy the brush by itself, it's full price. So do it right. Soft Disclosure beard oil and the new boar bristle brush. Visit softdisclosure.com and level up your beard game.
I liked it.
There we go.
I thought you did awesome, brother.
I came off kind of like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. I'm just a man playing a man, playing a dude. I'm just a dude playing a dude, playing a dude.
You got me beat on the beard, man. You're the one that got the manly beard right now, man.
Yeah, but I can't even use the boar brush on my beard.
I'm telling you,
I finish it with it, but
it's so good. So I have the new one from Soft Disclosure, but before that, I also have the hard bristle one. And so I use the hard bristle one first. That's the one, you know when you go through that phase where it starts
bro, I don't want to hear shit from you about having to use multiple brushes, bro. Your beard is like.
First of all, I'll show you some pictures.
5 o'clock shadow.
I will send you some UC pictures where I had a beard, bro. You know, it just there's when you get to that certain size under here, under the chin and neck, where you get that itch, that hard bristle one, I'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it does.
But the oil alleviates a lot of that, man.
It does. Because it helps the dry skin. That's what it does. Hey, so real quick, I do want to bring this up. Curtis in the chat was saying this as well.
First, hold on. You gotta let me yell at somebody in the chat. I just gotta say, fuck you, Josh, for that comment, asshole. What an asshole!
Just hit puberty. That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
What a dick, bro.
That is exactly right. He also can't say Gusha. Say Gusha.
Guasha.
I said it right. It's Gusha. No, we've adopted it as Gusha now. It's not Guasha anymore. So Curtis brought this up. You mentioned earlier on Daily you said the president's the most powerful person. I said no, we have co-equal branches of government. Curtis brought up a great point. The president is actually the weakest person. He's the only one that's limited by term limits. Everybody else can stay there as long as they want. Now, I did counter that and say you're talking about, effectiveness over the long run, whereas in terms of like raw power right then and there, the president kind of has more, only because he's one individual that doesn't have to get it passed by 49 other people.
The most powerful individual. That's why he's got term limits.
To an extent. I don't think he should have term limits. I really don't. I don't think if we had free and fair elections.
What you guys are all going to learn before 2028. Clip this one, Can.
Okay.
Clip this one, because this is going to be bragging rights right here. This one is going to be bragging rights. What we will all learn together before January 20th of 2028 is that the president is more powerful than any standalone branch in the U.S. government. And he can do a lot of things that he hasn't done before. And we're going to learn exactly how powerful the president is.
Okay. I think we're going to learn that the president has a right to serve back-to-back consecutive terms to implement his agenda. And when they prove that the 2020 election was actually stolen from him, that will be the justification for him to be 48. Just my take on that.
I think that is actually a really solid take.
All right, Keith O'Higgins question. Matt Gaetz entered the Hunter Biden laptop contents into the congressional record. Will the Anthony Weiner laptop or the 6 million plus redacted or unredacted pages ever be entered as well?
I don't know. He doesn't ask anybody about the Anthony Weiner laptop.
Nobody asks anybody about the Anthony Weiner laptop. Massie is towing the line. He's playing the role that he is supposed to play. He's keeping the Democrats drummed up on the Epstein files.
All right, trust the plan.
Not trust the not trust the plan. It's just keeping it in your face.
Gotcha.
Keeping it in your face. Now that MTG's gone, what other Republicans are talking about it like that?
CannCon's QAnon, everybody.
I am. Media matters. So John thinks that he's like the QAnon guru, according to the hit pieces. I've had NPR, Media Matters. I think John actually has more, to be honest with you. But, dude, Media Matters has like at least a dozen pieces on me calling me QAnon. So little do they know. But anyways. Oh, you want to hear something funny, Alpha?
Fire.
One of my friends that I know personally down here in Florida was saying something about the Epstein files. And he's like, he's a Democrat, full blown, like straight up Democrat, common sense guy though. And he's like, I never thought I'd say this, but I think Q might be right. Or he said QAnon. He's like, I think these QAnon people might have been up to something this whole time. And I was like, damn. All right. Reberhart29 says, you can't find this kind of discussion with any other media group. Friction sharpens the blade, honing to a sharp edge of truth. Keep charging. Agreed, except Alpha's wrong.
You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
I know. Emerald Dragon, the only reason I get upset with you guys hashing out a discussion is because we aren't sitting by a fire with drinks. Can't speak for anyone else. Thanks for some well-informed debate and discussion. I have a glass of wine. So
go to a GART.
Yeah, he was at Plymouth.
Oh, there you go.
Emerald Dragon was at Plymouth. But yeah, come to Deadwood and we'll do this in June. It'll still be cool in June up there.
I
at
hope
night.
so, man.
It'll still be cool. It'll still be cool at night. Nashville. We can do this around Nashville. Have a nice little fire. It'll be April. Be beautiful weather at night.
And I'm gonna be bragging because by that time Massie have gotten his ass whooped. So I'm gonna be bragging on that one.
Not at Nashville.
Yeah, prime. Oh, no, that's right. You're right. That's,
April, May comes after April.
It's just I do Marine Corps calendar like I do Marine Corps math.
Math for Marines. Huck Fillery, one Huck Buck, CannCon. I'm so happy you did not receive your Medal of Valor posthumously. Posthumously. Is it posthumously or is it posthumously?
Man, I've heard it so many ways. I say posthumously, which means it's probably wrong because that's the way I've adopted it.
Washa. I'm just here because Alpha can't say these words. Alpha, can you guys get a Valentine's Day?
Huh?
What's tomorrow? Or what's Saturday?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Valentine's
New
Day.
York Times?
February 14th, Valentine's Day. It's Saturday.
What country is Nicolas Maduro the president of?
Venezuela.
Say that again?
Venezuela.
Venezuela?
Venezuela.
Also used Worcestershire sauce in your steak rub. Worcestershire.
No, we use Worcestershire sauce in a Bloody Mary.
Ooh. Emerald Dragon says,
that's delicious.
Worcestershire. This was preemptive because I know you're both going to say it wrong. Haha, I love you, bros. Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
What in the fuck kind of fucked
that
up?
Sounds wrong. That sounds wrong.
That's that masshole shit, man. You New Englanders and you're that's like they say Gloucester and like wash.
Claire Cat says you pronounce it posthumously. Posthumously.
All right. Well, hopefully we didn't run off all of our listeners because I was getting shit in the chat. I think you might have gotten a little bit, not as much as me, because I took the stance against Trump, and that's the crazy part. You sit on the fence with people like Lindsey Graham. You're like, oh well, I'm not going to get on Lindsey Graham because everybody hates him, but Trump loves him. Oh, okay. There's the one place.
First of all, I've talked plenty of shit about Lindsey Graham.
No, I'm not saying you.
I said I didn't put as much effort into Lindsey Graham. I want to focus on the ones that I see that are moving the needle in the wrong direction, and Massie's being one of those. Massie is having an impact on the base with President Trump.
He's moving it where it needs to go.
In the wrong direction, pulling people away from
manufacturing outrage behind the Epstein files. So when it drops, they're all like, oh, fuck. You mean it wasn't Trump this whole time?
That already happened. That already happened.
No, it's happened for us. It hasn't happened for the normies in
the normies are talking.
Ville.
CNN even admitted that Trump was an FBI informant.
When?
Was it yesterday? The day before? They brought up.
No, calling the cops in Palm Beach and saying, thank God everybody knows what he was doing. It's not the same as an FBI informant. Not the level we're talking about.
Not the level we're talking. I'll give you that one.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, what you got coming up, brother?
At 8:30, so 11:30 p.m. Eastern, Overwatch and the Guardian with the guy in the chat that was being an asshole. So
Emerald Dragon? No,
Josh. Josh.
All right, guys. And stay tuned. We've got Rug Pull Radio coming up here. Maybe G will explain to me why my Bitcoin is not looking so hot right now.
Oh, bro, please go to 10,000. Please go to 10,000. Because it's going to go back up. It's going to explode.
No, I'm not even worried about it. Not even worried about it. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Smash that thumbs up on your way out. God bless and have a great night.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.